guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, you guys, I have so many things to do today. It is Saturday and I feel like I am playing catch up. So I have to, we are doing a unit study on the Titanic, and I bought these replica things from the Titanic. So I have to go through them, separate them out because it's very confusing, but each chapter, something goes with it. So I have to separate it and then I have to give it to my sister. We're doing school apart. That's the reason is in one of my videos. But I have to separate that out. So I have to do that. I have to look over the Titanic unit study that I made, and I have to figure out what days we are doing what, and kind of just look over it and kind of put down like a rough draft of how I want the week to go. We know it doesn't always turn out that way, but that is what my plans are. I also want to upload some things to my website. I've been creating things, so I want to try to get to that. If I can't do that now, I will do it later this evening when I'm not recording, but that is on my to-do list. I have to plan for next week. That I have to do. I have to sit down and do my planner for all of Tally's work next week. I also have to get Isaiah's stuff together. We are starting on the letter J for jungle, and I really don't have that many worksheets or anything to do for that, and I don't even think that I found any on Pinterest. I'm gonna have to research that again, and I may have to create some things for him to work through on jungle. I also have been working on putting together like a book report package to help my daughter with like different guides to go over to make sure she has the right information and to kind of make it easier for her mind to piece together the different parts of a book report. So I need to do that, and then I need to grade work, you guys. I am so far behind on grading work. December, I just was so relaxed, didn't do much. So now that January's been here and we're almost done with January, we're like at the very end, I really haven't I really haven't graded very much of her work. So yeah, I have a lot of work to grade. Another thing I have to do today is I have to record myself putting together a report card on the internet as like a tutorial for you guys. So I'm really hoping it works out. I've tried several different ways. It's giving me such a hard time, but I am determined, you guys. I will get something out there for you guys. It may not be the best quality ever, but I will get something out there for you. So just give me grace if you see it and it's not the best, okay? But just as long as it's a good tutorial to where you guys can mimic what I am doing to put yours together, it will be worth it, right? I don't know what else I have to do, you guys. That's just what I have on my list, but things always come up. I mean, do things come up for you guys? I feel like I do one thing and then it leads me into something else. That's why I love having my lists. That's why I love checking things off. So that, I need to meal plan. I need to meal plan because I need to place my order so that we have groceries this week, because we are literally running low, you guys, on the necessities. And I'm gonna start grabbing all of my stuff for my daughter's planning, so then you guys can kind of see what I grab, how I kind of change things up, and yeah, so on. So let's go ahead and get started. So the things that I typically grab are the books that I need to look through to see what we are actually going to be working on. I grab her workbook thing that I put together that has all of her lessons in it, like her worksheets. And then I grab some of my books. So I also always grab her schedule and my planner. And this is like a must-have for me. So I am using a pencil. We're going on week 14, so I always put the week down just because it helps me keep track of where we're at, so I know when we're getting close to the end of a quarter and the end of the year. So what I typically do is I just go down the list of our actual schedule for school, And so for instance, we do Bible, history, health, or science. We kind of go back and forth with that for the third period. And then we do geography. And then we have language, reading, math, writing, and spelling. We have a whole lot of subjects, you guys. I know it's always a heavy load, but that is just how we school. Our choice, you know, all of us work differently. One way is not better than the other. One way is not the right way. One way is not the wrong way. Whatever works for you and for your kids is how you do school. And that's the great thing to have a community of homeschooling moms or parents, is that you guys are all aware that not one way is the right way or the wrong way. You know, I can't sit here and say, this is how you need to do school. This is how you need to plan, because you don't. Everybody does it their own way. But this is the way I do it. We have changed our schedule around quite a bit. What we're finding is we have been doing our group subjects in the morning. So all of our group subjects are together, like our parent led. And then the last half of the day, the kids do their videos. Because myself and my sister are separated right now. I talk about that a little bit in one of my videos. I'm not sure if it's going up before this or after this, so just make sure you guys have your notifications on in case you are wondering. But so we've been doing them that way so that we get all of the group subjects done early, and then we could kind of separate without FaceTiming, just because we don't want to be like completely off schedule, because sometimes language lasts longer for my daughter than my youngest niece. Sometimes my oldest niece is doing something. So it's easier to get all of our group stuff done first. My son, I've been teaching him at the last part of the day, so the last half of the day, and you guys, I've actually really enjoyed doing it that way, and I think he's doing well. So that's how my schedule is right now. So first off, we start with Bible. So I'm pretty sure that I know I'm starting a new Bible lesson book. We just finished creation, so it walked through creation, Adam and Eve, and Cain and Abel. So we are done there. So I need to flip to my page that I have a page in here that I broke down how we're supposed to be doing Bible. Okay, so we are done. I did like a Bible lineup so I can stay on track and know what comes next. So we have Enoch, Adam, and Babel is next. So when I get started with that, I'm just gonna take this, put it in the file folder, pull out the new one, and then go from there. But that is basically how I do my planning. I have my planner here that breaks down the days here, and then I just write the subject, what lesson, what they have for the day. And then in the blue column, what I've been doing, I have like this blue column here, is when I do our group lessons, like for instance, our history, or when we're working through health or geography, things like that, I will pay attention to how well the kids are doing, how they're answering questions, if they're involved, if they're behaving, if they're participating. And I will write little notes here because that is how I'm going to be figuring out their grades. So I like to use this to add into not only having the academic part of it. So I'm writing my notes there. That's new for me. And then I literally just go through all of them. So I'll write it all like that in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this. And then, yeah, we will catch back up. I know I said I was gonna stop talking, but just so you guys know what I'm doing, this is where I keep all of our Bible curriculum separated per lesson, like per unit. So for instance, like I said, we just did creation. So I'm gonna put this back here, and then the next one we are working through, I said, was Enoch, right? And that's this one here. So this is where I keep all of that together, and I'm going to put this back under the desk. Girls really wanted to do a Titanic unit study this year. It's not in our history book. The girls really love the Who Was series, so we went ahead and got What Was the Titanic. I used this book and I created a little workbook. So this is Tally's and this is mine. Ari's is in a pile that I have to give to her. But I bought these little replica packets of things that have to do with the Titanic. I got them from Amazon. So what I need to do is, because we are going to be doing lessons separate, so I'm going to be here with Tally and Ari's going to be at home. She's going to FaceTime us. So I don't want her digging through all of these trying to figure out what lesson it goes with, and I don't want to be figuring out, oh my gosh, what goes with what lesson as we're working through it. So what I'm going to do is, I have like these little folder things, I don't know, and they're reusable, so I'm going to use those instead of using envelopes, and I'm going to separate out everything. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about having things prepared before I get started, because nothing is worse for me personally to get to that subject and be scrambling looking for what I need, supplies, art stuff. I mean, yes, it takes a little bit of time because you have to plan it, but the pressure is off during a homeschool day. Like, there's nothing worse than not being able to figure out what goes with what and where's this and where's that. It stresses me out. So I like to try to have like a plan and have everything ready. That's the way I do it. So here is the teacher key. I wanted to explain to you guys, if you guys are interested in this, I will be uploading all of my stuff soon, you guys. I did a video on like a catch up with you guys on everything, but so what I did is, at the beginning of each chapter, there is like in little red writing, it'll say chapter 1. So you know what questions go to what chapter. I thought that that would be helpful. Also, because I didn't want to waste paper space, I didn't want to just do one chapter on one page, a chapter on another page. I wanted to fill out each paper because I know printing's expensive and wasting paper and all that. So I print ours out front and back, and then I have all the answers in red. So hopefully that is helpful. There's some cool photos in the back here. Well, they're not photos. Well, they are photos, but they're printed, that I added into here for the kiddos. So I just wanted to kind of explain to you guys, because that's what I'm going to be going off of right now to figure out how many chapters we're doing each lesson. Now, we do not always do this to a T. I will use it as a guide. If I feel like one lesson is taking forever long and I have it marked for 2 chapters, and it's taken like 35 minutes already to get through 1 chapter, I will be like, nope, we'll push it. Before I try to get through it, because I'm a very like structured, gotta go by the plan, but I have really learned how to just be like, okay, that's not gonna work. Let's push it to the next day, or let's switch this subject with that subject. I feel like that helps a lot, having that flexibility in homeschool. So that's always something that you guys can think of. Filling these, so I just have 2 chapters in each little folder, and if we don't get through both chapters in one day, then at least they're still separated. We could look at them for both chapters anyways. So I did that, so these are ready for the girls for Monday. Now, what do I have to do? I have so much to do. I'm thinking that I'm going to finish my planning this evening when I'm done with this video, so that I can record that for you guys as well, instead of interrupting this video to do all of that video and then back and forth. So I think it'd be too hectic for me to do it that way. So I'm going to continue on getting these things done. Let me grab my list. Where is my list? Okay, so I've separated my Titanic. I've planned it, plan next week, work on book report. How am I gonna do that with you guys? Plan next week and get Isaiah's things in order. Okay, so I'm going to get Isaiah's things in order now. Okay, so as I'm looking through Pinterest, I'm gonna grab out my folder that I use for Isaiah, and this is all I'm seeing. That's what I thought when I looked in here a couple weeks ago. I really don't have much, you guys. He does a lot of worksheets. He really actually enjoys doing most of them. He's pretty good when it comes to school. So I like to go through my folders here and see what all I have like coming up. This is where I keep his weekly units that we do as like worksheets. So I've already organized these. Ladies, I already told you I'm crazy when it comes to organizing and having things prepared, but things like this, sometimes it just, you know, falls through the cracks. You know what I mean? When you're doing so many things, you just kind of lose track of everything. So I'm trying to find now if I could find something that I can just print out for him. I'm finding that some of the printables that I did at the beginning of the year, he's finding it really easy to do them. So I'm like, do I keep reinforcing that or should I move on a little bit? I'm just worried about like reinforcing. Like he does really well with his numbers. It's the higher numbers that he gets a little bit confused on. So maybe I'll print out some of these. I don't want to do like, they have like trace the L for lion, but we're not on the letter L. We are on the letter J. They have zebra, M for monkey. I don't see any J's. So I don't want to do that because I don't want to confuse him with the letter of the week. I don't know, how do you guys do it? Do you guys, I always ask you guys, do you guys use a curriculum? Do you do this? I just feel like if we're gonna work on a letter, I really want to just focus on that one letter. We still go through the alphabet. I still do recognition stuff with him. But when it comes to like writing, I want to just focus on one number, one letter, one shape, one color, you know, stuff like that. So I'm like, this is like making a puzzle, fitting the two A's together, but they're pictures of animals, and I feel like he'll just put the pictures of the animals together instead of looking at the upper and the lowercase. So I'd rather just use our manipulatives for stuff like that. You know, just take the uppercase, say, letter magnets, put them down, and then say, I pull out the lowercase letter magnets and I say, okay, find the uppercase A. I usually call it the big A or the mama A, but I do say uppercase A as well. I feel like he remembers things when they're more fun. I don't know. I know it's not the right terminology, but he'll get it. As he gets older, he'll start to put things together. So I just figured that that's how I did it with my daughter, and she learned really well. So that's how I do it with him. Maybe we'll focus more on reading about the animals, and I'll do more manipulatives. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use what I have here that I've already printed out and that I've showed you guys, or shown you guys, not showed. And then I will go ahead and pick out some like manipulatives and stuff like that.
She's putting all our cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go.
just let you guys know some of the things that we're going to be working on this week. So we're going to do some pattern making with these here. We are just going to, I'm going to tell him to make patterns. And then with these here, these are eraser numbers, or number eraser, you guys. What am I saying? I could tell him what numbers to find. So find the number 5 all the way up to 9, and then I will have him start building numbers from there. So find the 1 and the 0 to make a 10, and we'll place them here. Once we're done with that, we can always count out the manipulatives to go with the number that we have. So there's a good way to do it. We have started working through our months of the year, so we are working through these cards here. These I use because we are now doing sounds with learning the letters. Instead of learning all the letters and then all the sounds, we're doing the letter and the sound. The letter and the sound. So A, B, B, C, K. You know what I mean? So we're doing it all at the same time now. This we're going to use for shape recognition. We're going to do something with this. I'm going to tell him to find the rectangle, and then I'll have these out and I'll tell him to find all the rectangles and stick them with the larger rectangle. We have this little alphabet bingo we're going to play. I'm going to have him do this balancing board. Then I'm going to use these flashcards to tell him which letter to find. I'll have all the flashcards out. I usually do about 6 to 8 at a time. And then I give him something like this, either this, the pointers, and I tell him, find the B, find the C, find, you know what I mean? And he points to it or he slaps it, depending on what we're doing. These here are all alphabet magnets, like I was talking about earlier. There's upper and lower cases here, so we are going to match them up. You can always have the cards and match the lowercase with the uppercase cards if you guys have all uppercase flashcards. And then with these Uno cards, we're just going to use the number cards for recognition. I'll have him count out manipulatives. We'll put the matching numbers with it. Just all kinds of different things that you guys can do with this. Another thing that I am going to be using this week is his alphabet sensory poppet and his number poppet as well. We can use the shapes here, you know, pop the circle, find all the circles, and then we'll like time him or something. Make it a little bit more fun for him. Also, I'll have some games that we'll play throughout the week besides this alphabet bingo game. He really seems to like the bingo games, but that's what we are doing this week for school. So basically, I just wanted to share with you guys what I'm doing right now is my daughter has been doing book reports for her language arts, and she's kind of struggling with the guide that Abeka gives her. I think just because it's not really like provoking any ideas in her mind of what to write about. So I'm trying to come up with something that I can ask more questions for her to kind of follow that guideline, because it does talk about, you know, you need to explain like the title and the author and how many pages, and I have that already in one of my little book review sheets that I created for her. But I'm going to include that into her book report guide, but I'm also going to try to use more questions on, you know, character building, setting, stuff like that, just to kind of give her somewhere to pull those thoughts from, if that makes any sense. So I'm hoping to get together like a packet that I can upload onto my website if you guys are interested in that. I'm not sure if you guys are struggling with the same things that we are, but I figured if I'm already doing it, I might as well make it available, right? Also, I'm going to be putting together like a book log so she can keep track of all the books that she reads throughout the year. I think that that will be a really good thing to reflect on, to see how well she did, if she needs to read more, if she's doing well, just to kind of give her something that she could see the accomplishment and how, you know, reading is good for you. You know what I mean? So something to look at. I always feel like something visual is so helpful. This is the book review that I've already created for any book that she reads, and then these are the guidelines that I want in her book report, and I'll kind of pull from here and add this to it. book report stuff is ready. I do need to upload it for my website and print some out for us to have on hand here. I took a little break, put my hair back, put on some joggers. I'm super comfy now. I'm going to get started with meal planning. I have meal planning to do. I created these little meal plan sheets and this grocery list that's broken down in categories. And this is one of the things that I talked about in one of my videos. So check that out if you haven't already. I will leave it down in the link if I post this after that one. I'm not sure how I'm lining these up. I really want to be more on top of meal planning and scheduling out food and grocery shopping because things are so pricey right now and I really have to stay on a budget. So I felt like this would be a good way for me to be able to see it, plan it out. That's what I was doing before, and then I got lazy, and then I got in the routine of just ordering online and kind of planning it out in my head, but then you forget, what was this for again? Or, you know, your husband or your kids want to eat something, but you forgot that it was part of a meal. So you run into all that. So once I have my meal plan done, I'm going to do my grocery list. And then what I'll do is I'll hang my little meal plan up on the fridge so that the family knows what we're eating, so they know not to touch it. Planning and my grocery list, so I'm gonna go ahead and place that order. I'm gonna wrap this video up, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It was a little different. I mean, I did some mom things, I did some homeschooling mom things, so I hope that you guys enjoyed. Be safe, be blessed, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye guys.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.